Welcome to Digital Asset News. Take a top stories in crypto and bring in our bite-sized pieces. So today, as the thumbnail suggests, looks like Tesla might be getting back on the bandwagon as far as accepting cryptocurrency payments. And I don't think this is like the biggest news of all time, but I think the optics is pretty astounding. Also, we'll take a look at how well the Ripple lawsuit is going against the SEC. And we'll finish up with a little bit of a Masterworks deep dive video that I did, which we'll just go over briefly. So let's just jump right into it and take a look at what the heck is going on with the market today. So today's Wednesday. It's a nice day outside, just not a really great day inside for the market. We're down 6%, and you have to understand, I mean, we had a pretty big run, so there has to be little pullbacks here and there, and that's just the nature of the beast. We know that in crypto, I mean, we were getting pretty spoiled. Honestly, we were seeing some major momentum. We had 2 ETFs approved, run back to back. We had nothing but good news, so we're like, it'll just go up forever. Great lesson to remember. Nothing goes up forever. So we're below 2.5 trillion. Looks like we lost about 6% in the last 24 hours. And the sentiment today, understandably a little bit bearish. I'm bullish long-term, as I always am in the crypto market. I could really care less on the day-to-day operations as far as where things are going, because I'm not a big trader. I don't do leverage trades. I just kind of dollar cost average. I've been doing that for like the last 4 years. Worked out pretty well. But today, if you've been trading, it might be a little hurtful, especially those long positions. So here's what we got. We've got Bitcoin. Looks like we're doing okay at around 58.7. Looks like we hit that level of support at 60 and it finally just broke down. I mean, after you hit it so many times, it has to. Ethereum drops below 4,000. Binance is in that third spot, 452. Tether, nobody cares. Cardano below $2. Everything's taken a hit. Even Solana, 187. Even Solana went below a certain, I mean, I think I picked it up today like around 182. I wasn't dollar cost averaging, but I'm like, man, that's a pretty good price. So I had to snatch it up. And what else we got? Everything's down except except for Shiba Inu. In the last 7 days is up 173%. It's at, in the last 24 hours, up 60%. And I think at some point it actually flip-flopped with Doge. I saw something, a little snippet on George's channel or Cryptos R Us. So, hey, congratulations to all you Shiba Inu holders. And I have no hate for anybody. I mean, great. I'm just under the realization now, and let me just blow this up real quick. This is not investment advice. This is just investment opinion. I'm just under the assumption now that we're all going to be rich, essentially, with what's going on in the crypto market. Even though there are some huge peaks and valleys, in all honesty, I mean, just if we just look out the long term, like we always talk about, there's no way it can't go up to 10 trillion, 50 trillion, 200 trillion in the next 8 years. I mean, 8 years to, 100x, sure, I'm along for the ride. Everything's going in the right direction. So these day-to-day operations, don't care. I just kind of zoom out and I go, this is where we're at. So anyhow, that's what we have right now for the market. And then just so you know, Shiba Inu went up so high and so fast, it actually crashed Coinbase, which is not surprising. Coinbase is known to do a little crashing here and there. And then also, if you take a look at the traditional markets, the S&P is down a little bit, NASDAQ up a slight, the Dow's down, Russell's down, US dollar, who cares, US dollar is awful. And then but the big loser today is the Bitcoin index. And of course, with the ETF from ProShares, it's taken quite a hit. In the last 5 days, remember, it started around $40, jumped up pretty well, then just took a little slide sideways, jumped up, sideways, dropped. And then of course, that is today, the 27th. And we're down the 38 mark. And then also Valkyrie, the ticker is BTF, buy the F and dip, right? They've got it at same type of thing. Around $25, took a big dip and then traded sideways. And then everything was going good Monday. Monday for this one and also the ProShares did pretty good. And then it just jumped up, traded sideways, like, oh, no big deal. And then bam, down it goes. And then down it goes. And then we're kind of doing a little recovery. So that's what's going on. As we take a look at these markets, I cannot help but remember what Ricardo Salinas says, or said. Ricardo Salinas is the second richest man in Mexico, multi-billionaire. Good for that guy. But he did make a good point, and I just cannot forget what he says. He goes, according to him, A Bitcoin futures ETF could prove fatal to the asset's price, as it gives big institutional investors the power to use excess leverage, buying and then dumping. And he goes, look, I've been trading futures for 40 years. It's all paper-based. Any bank can do whatever they want to, and it's a high time for manipulation. But in all honesty, I mean, everything's manipulated, so it really doesn't matter. So again, if we're looking at the short term, the ETF was good. Nice feather in the cap. I'm happy with it. But I'm not surprised that, it's volatile just as much as crypto is. And that's what we have in the market. And then lastly, just if we take a look at the last 4 hours for us 4-hour candles, we can see that we've had quite an up and down. The RSI is going down to the oversold category, and it kind of just picks right back up. But we had a nice support level around 60, and then it just kind of fell through. And now we just see that it's gone from, this is actually right here is the 60 mark, and see it really went through. Then it really picked up again. But again, 58,000, 59,000, you can't keep hitting that level of support without breaking through. Anyhow, that's what we got with what's going on in the market. And now let's get to some good news, which is great. Tesla, welcome back. Tesla informs the SEC it may restart transacting in crypto. Here's the thing. They're not going to just put it in there if they're not going to do it. I'm sure they want to do that because they all see what's happening. And we talked about Jack Dorsey and him talking about hyperinflation or stagflation. I mean, whatever you want to put it into. But we know that the dollar is not something to be into for the long term. It's great for short term. You can't buy groceries with crypto. I mean, well, you can in El Salvador. I mean, you can in some places, but in all honesty, it's Bitcoin. Dollar's a short-term thing. I think crypto is going to do really well in the future. Just right now, we're going through the stumble block. So Tesla knows what's going on, and they said like this. Look, the company explained that during the 9 months ended September 20th, it purchased an aggregate of 1.5 billion in Bitcoin. Unfortunately, in its Q3 earnings report, it shows that it's now worth 1.26 billion. So yeah, I lost about 240 million. What are you going to do? The SEC filing further states, and this is what they said, we may in the future restart the practice of transacting in cryptocurrencies for our products and services. And here's the thing. If you're any kind of vendor online or wherever else you want to be, just so you know that when you're transacting in debit or even in credit, or you have to do wire transfers, it costs money because there's a bunch of middlemen. So if you can just eliminate that, why not? And especially if you can take crypto, I don't care what he takes. If he takes Doge, sure, whatever. But I mean, the fees themselves will be lower, and you're into an asset that isn't going to depreciate because of hyperinflation or just inflation. So I don't really care so much about that this is going on, and it's they're taking payments. That's not the big story. The big story is, again, just look back at the big picture. The optics of Tesla coming back in and saying, we are going to start accepting cryptocurrency. What it means is trust. They are trusting, and they start to believe in the fact that cryptocurrencies are going somewhere. And of course, everybody touts about how genius Elon Musk is. So they say, well, I don't really understand crypto that much, but this guy who's sending people to Mars and is digging tunnels under the LA system and has made these great cars and is doing everything else, believes in cryptocurrency, maybe I should. And maybe I should get into that. Maybe I should do some more research. The optics on that is amazing, and hopefully it actually goes through. So let me know what you think about that in the comments section. Hopefully it leads to a little price action. Let's go on to our next piece where Ripple is the hero. And this was Brian Armstrong, Coinbase, that just went down because of Shiba Inu. He just put a nice little tweet out, and people are thinking, well, maybe he's saying this because he wants to relist it. I don't think that's it, but maybe. So this is what we got. He states, the Ripple case seems to be going better than expected. Meanwhile, the SEC is realizing that attacking crypto is politically unpopular because it harms consumers. That's the big thing. The SEC is there to protect the consumer base from fraud. And unfortunately, by them stepping in and talking about, well, this is security, it hurt a ton of people. And a lot of those people, including myself, Ripple holders, XRP holders, excuse me. And if they keep doing these same things, it's enforcement through legislation, and they can't keep doing this stuff. And what's great about that is that there was such an outcry, and Brian Armstrong says this, the irony is that the people they are supposedly protecting are the ones attacking them. And he references this whole thing from this fantastic article written by Rosalind Layton, the crypto uprising the SEC didn't see coming. I know we complain and we talk about it, but I think the constant hammering with the SEC and sending them information and going, you're not helping me, you're screwing me, this is bad, my investment went down because of you are not protecting me. I think that just kind of resonates, and that's the exact opposite of what Gensler's trying to do. Some people say, well, Gensler's just there to fulfill his own agenda. Perhaps. I just think that he's trying to do his job, but he's just not doing a good job at it. Anyhow, so I'm just gonna read this little piece in this article. I'll link it in. It's a fantastic article. It's a long read, but it's great. Just, you can always get the great information from the first couple paragraphs. She states, when the US SEC filed its bombshell lawsuit against crypto inventors Ripple Labs in December, it didn't expect blowback. I think they didn't at all. But during the pre-trial phase, Ripple's legal team has put the SEC itself on trial after years of conflicting and confusing guidance on the rules for crypto. The meltdown of the SEC's credibility with this $2 trillion global investor community exposes a costly SEC miscalculation. The miscalculation they're doing is they're trying to use the Howey test from the 30s to put and determine what is a security in 2021. It's like, I mean, it's just asinine to even think about. And actually, there was a pretty good video. It was over on Minority Mindset, and Raoul Pal was on there. And Raoul Pal talked about that he has friends in all over the globe. He talks about there's one of the regulators in Singapore, and they said that what they're doing over there is they're just saying, look, we can't use an archaic test like the Howey test. What we do is we're here to protect the consumers, just like the SEC. And all we just tell people is like, look, we don't approve of it. Seems very dangerous. We want you to be careful. Just do your own research. And that's pretty much what they're doing. And I'm like, that makes a lot of sense. Why can't they just do that and be hands off and then just let people go in? Look, if we can go into the casino and blow our college fund, and that's just, and there's nobody else around, who cares, right? It's up to you as the individual. So hopefully this will all come about. I personally think that the SEC should just get out of the way, and they should just say, okay, what we need to do is just go, we need another entity to determine as far as like cryptocurrency and digital assets. Maybe instead of going, just do like a triage. Projects come in, they say, okay, based on this criteria, not how we test, this is a commodity. CFTC, you handle that. Based on this criteria, it's a security. SEC, you handle that. Based on this criteria, it's a currency. OCC, you handle that. And then off you go. It seems so simple, but it seems like they can't get out of their way. But I'm just glad that the case itself, as far as Ripple versus the SEC, is finally exposing the SEC to do the things they are supposed to do, which is give clarity to what it is instead of doing backroom deals and going after those projects after they come in, which is not the way to do things. Anyhow, let me know what you think about that in the comment section. And then to finish up real quick, we did a deep dive into Masterworks. And I have my exit strategy that I think people are pretty well familiar with in the links in the description. There's also my 80-20 rules and all the different exit strategies I have. But I added Masterworks because I am so afraid of the inflation that is going on. And Masterworks, it's really all it is just buying fractionalized shares of fine art. And the reason why I like it so much is because in 2008, when we had the real estate and the whole shakedown with that, then even the dot-com bubble, one of the uncorrelated assets that did well was super expensive art. You know why? Because rich people, they don't play by the same rules that we do. So this is why I think it's actually a good one for me. My goals are not your goals, but we'll release that tonight. Hopefully as we get it reviewed. And that's it for today. If you want to take a look more at Masterworks, there's a link in the description. It gets you to bypass the waitlist just for watching my channel. That's it. So that's it. So look, if you made it all the way to the end, thanks. I appreciate it. Consider giving it a like and subscribe and all that stuff. And don't worry, I know things look a little bit bleak sometimes when we take a dip, but it's just a Wednesday. And that's it. So thanks so much. I appreciate it. And I'll see you on the next one.